Warren presents Sissy. Season 2, Episode 2. Warren was dropped off at his cousin's house the next day after Darius had enough with Warren's ridiculous attitude. When Warren got out the car, he looked at the house and looked around the driveway. As his dad knocked on the door and waited for someone to open it, Warren ran around the driveway. Seconds later, he saw a shed, which made him curious enough to have a glimpse inside. When he stepped a foot inside and turned on the light switch, he saw an old centered painting of a sock puppet, which looked oddly creepy to Warren, and it made him think, what the actual fuck did I just saw? Right at that moment, someone finally opened the door to let Warren and his dad inside the house. Warren saw a woman named Vertica, who happens to be his mother's younger sister. Warren took off to go and check what's inside. When Warren was brought in, he found himself in a living room. Warren looked around, and then he saw one of his cousins there in the playroom. His name was Brandon. Brandon saw him and said hi to him, and Warren said hi back to him. Brandon introduced Warren to one of his other brothers, whose name was Willie. Brandon messed with Willie's curly hair, saying that he needs to grow up. Veronica and Manevli got annoyed and they told Brandon to stop treating Willie like that. Warren wanted to walk with Willie because of how self-conscious he is. Willie was a quiet kid, and he likes to wander around in the backyard. He is allergic to peanuts, and he likes eating jelly sandwiches. Warren touched Willie's curly hair, and he says he loves his soft hair, and Willie didn't really say anything. At this point, Warren did not give a fuck about Brandon anymore, and he went to hang out with Willie instead because of how self-conscious he is. As Warren and Willie walked around in the backyard, Willie would go to the table in the yard and take a bite of his jelly sandwich. In the real world, Warren is such a flagrant and selfish boy. He did not came to the world to be nice to people, he came to offend people, and is oblivious to all feelings aimed towards him. But despite all that, Warren saw how nice and shy Willie was, and Warren did not feel a single disgrace towards him at all. Warren thought Willie was just a shy and quiet kid, who does not like the world he is living in, and he seems so nonchalant. Warren observed him, and did not want him to be ashamed. Warren saw how much Brandon was a huge selfish dick, and did not want Willie to be hurt during his life. After walking around the yard for a little while, Warren went inside, but Willie still wanted to wander around the backyard. When Warren walks inside, he is unaware that Brandon is hiding behind the wall, and is waiting for him to walk in. Once Warren was inside, Brandon ran up to him and tackled him for fun. Warren got furious and vigorously knocked him down. Brandon started teasing Warren, but Warren told him to fuck off in a sharp voice. Warren was hungry and went to the kitchen, but then he saw Vertica setting up some sort of birthday decoration in the dining room kitchen. Warren asked Vertica what she is doing. Vertica said that it is almost Willie's birthday, and he will be turning 6 tomorrow. Warren felt happy about Willie, considering Warren just turned 6 a little while ago. Warren soon found that Willie had autism. Willie is possibly the first person that Warren is kind to, since there has never been anyone Warren has been generous to. Willie was such a normal and healthy boy in this particular world, and he actually does not like birthdays. He also does not like attention. The fact that he does not like attention seriously dawned on Warren. When Willie got inside the house, Warren, Brandon, Veronica, and Manevli were looking for Veronica's hair clip in the living room. Willie was informed by this by Brandon, and Willie agreed to help them look for it. Seconds later, Willie finally finds the hair clip that was under the table, and was somehow not identified by anyone else. Brandon Brandon and Veronica started to applaud Willie for finding the hair clip, and Brandon started messing with his hair. But then suddenly, Willie got very irritated, and he knocked down a container full of arts and craft. Everybody was silent after seeing what Willie just did. Vertica came to see what just happened in the living room after hearing a sound, and she figured out that Willie had a nervous breakdown. While Vertica went to her room to calm Willie down and have a talk with him, Warren started blaming Brandon for what Willie did. Brandon told Warren to shut the hell up, and this made Warren angry. Warren kicked Brandon in the testicles. When Willie and his mom Vertica came out from the room, Vertica said that they will be throwing a birthday party for Willie. Willie doesn't have any friends to come over to his birthday party, but that is okay with Willie in general. Vertica said that Willie does not like attention, and has anger issues for real. She also told them not to mess around with him to prevent any chaos. Willie is not a rough boy, but he would have some shy anger issues at any time. Willie's mom asks Willie what does he want for his birthday. Willie says he wants racing cars, paper for drawing, color pencils, books, and informed her other stuff he wants. The next day, Warren woke up at 8 a.m., and he was woken up by a sound. He got up to go see what the noise was coming from, and it was coming from the kitchen. Warren found Vertica mixing cake, and that is when Warren remembered it is Willie's birthday. Warren asked what she is doing, and she said that she is making birthday cake for Willie's birthday party. She said that she is baking a vanilla cake, because Willie does not like chocolate. She said that eating chocolate hurts Willie's throat and makes his throat sore. It is not really a birthday party, since Willie has no friends to come over. Vertica asked Warren to wake up the other kids to say happy birthday to Willie, but Warren had already understood how shy Willie is, and he didn't want to make him feel uncomfortable. So, he went to the girls' room to wake his cousins up without reminding them about Willie's birthday. When Warren opened the girls' bedroom door, he saw Brandon sleeping with Manevli and Veronica, even though he was supposed to be sleeping in the other room with Willie. Apparently, Brandon and the two girls were having fun with each other last night, and that resulted in Brandon allowed to sleep with the both girls. Warren suddenly thought about going to the boys' room to wake up Willie. Warren forgot about waking up the two girls and Brandon, and went to the boys' room to wake up Willie. Warren shaked Willie for him to wake up, and Willie woke up in a tired position. Warren said happy birthday to Willie, and Willie said thanks. Right at that moment, Manevli, Veronica, and Brandon woke up, and they said happy birthday to Willie. Once again, Willie said thanks. When they all went to the living room, a sudden thought dawned on Warren's mind, wondering who is the dad of his cousins. But that didn't really matter to Warren at this point. Warren and Brandon went to see how Vertica was doing right now, and she was already done making the cake, but it did not have any vanilla frosting on it yet. Vertica said that she is going to be leaving soon, and that she wants Warren, Brandon, and the other kids to behave while she's going to go shopping for Willie's birthday presents. She said that Veronica will be in charge, since she's the oldest sibling. Veronica is 13 years old, and she already knows how to behave maturely as an underage kid. One time, her mom left her and Manevli home alone to be in charge to look over Willie and Brandon. Anyways, around 11 o'clock, Vertica left the house to drive to one store to pick out gifts for Willie's birthday. While she was gone, Warren and Brandon played with each other, while Willie was trying to plant flowers in the backyard. Willie likes plants and wants to plant a garden in the future. While he was doing his own thing in general, Warren started hanging out with Veronica and Manevli, while Brandon was playing video games in the living room. Warren and the girls went to the girls' room to play. They went to do makeup and paint each other's faces, and Warren was having fun. Brandon watched Warren getting his hair brushed and styled like a girl's hair. Brandon laughed at Warren as Veronica and her sister, Manevly, focused on doing his hair. When they were both finally finished, they told Warren to look in the mirror they have in their bedroom. Warren looked in the mirror and thought he looked nice and adorable. At one point, Manevly started saying that it is boring that she has brown hair, and that everyone except her has orange hair. Brandon replied saying that her hair is not even that brown, and that her hair is light brown. Veronica has blonde hair, but in general, she doesn't really care what color her hair is. Veronica started talking about Willie's hair, which she comments on it saying that his hair is like gold. Speaking of Willie, he was still outside in the backyard, wandering around while eating candy. But because he was outside for so long, a few flying insects started swarming around him, and Willie had a hard time focusing on his plants, because there were bees flying around him. Willie's favorite kind of flowers were sunflowers, which were those yellow ones that bees suck honey out of, and Willie has planted only one sunflower in 3 months. But unfortunately for him, bees were swarming around it, which really irritated him so much. Sadly for Willie, his sunflower got blocked by bees. Willie tried to make the bees go away, but then the bees started swarming around Willie, and he was given red bumps around his face and his arms. While Willie was scratching himself, the bees were sucking honey from the sunflower. Once again, Willie tried to make the bees go away. But then, he accidentally knocked down the sunflower he has been keeping, and the terracotta pot that the sunflower was growing in has fallen and shattered all over the ground, resulting in the sunflower dying. Willie was upset and started to tear up in frustration. He went inside the house to go to his room and cry in frustration, and Veronica went to calm him down and cheer him up. Sometime later, their mom, Vertica, came back home, and she thanked the kids for being good and behaving well. Then, Veronica came out with Willie. Veronica explained that Willie's sunflower pot broke when he was outside, and got stung by bees. Her mom felt sorry for what happened to Willie, and she hugged Willie to make him feel better. She then asks Willie if he wants to go to a playground park, and he said yes. Vertica asked the kids if they wanted to go to the park with Willie, and they all said yes. Willie wanted to wear pants to the park. In fact, Willie does not like wearing shorts or socks, and he does not like wearing high-top shoes. Again, he is self-conscious, so he does not wear any clothing that exposes his legs and his limbs. Willie also wanted to wear his sandals to the park. Vertica drove the kids to a park that was around their area. When they got to the park, everybody except Vertica got out of the car, then they ran to the playground. Willie was the only one who instead walked carefully, and he decided to play on the swings. Warren, Manevly, and Veronica were in a spot on the playground, and they talked about girls' night out. Warren said that he wants to hang out with them during girls' night out, but they said that he is a boy, and he can't go. Warren was disappointed that he couldn't go, and he wanted to ask their mom, Vertica, if he can go with the 3 of them. Manevly said that they are going out for girls' night out tomorrow around nighttime. But she also said that he, Brandon, and Willie can stay up at home during the night, and do whatever the hell they want. Warren was still disappointed, though. Warren then asked them when the fuck did girls' night out became a thing. Veronica explained that girls are one of the rarest types of human species. She said it was like being with a group of people who has orange hair, because orange hair has been one of the rarest features to have. Warren says that he always gets bullied and teased at school for having orange hair. But Manevli said that everybody is a bitch cunt, and that he looked adorable for having orange hair, which made Warren feel saluted. Veronica thinks Warren has red hair, but Manevli said that he clearly has orange hair. Manevli did not even bother arguing with her. As a fact, Warren does have orange hair, not red hair. When the two girls started arguing, Warren decided to go see how the boys were doing, and he found Brandon and Willie playing on the seesaw together. After realizing that two people were playing with each other and other two people were playing with each other, Warren felt like he didn't fit in and really had nothing to do. He went to play on the sand, but seconds later, he just went inside the car and waited to go back home. After 2.5 hours, it was time to go back home. When they all got in the house, Vertica got the birthday party set up. Vertica, Warren, Manevli, Veronica, and Brandon were the only ones celebrating Willie's 6th birthday. Willie doesn't really like birthdays parties, but his mom always encourages him to have one. After Willie's mom got everything set up, she turned the lights off. One of the reasons Vertica has the lights turned off during birthdays is that it would be uncomfortable for Willie to see everyone looking at him, singing happy birthday, and that he does not want to see their faces. Another reason is that Vertica wants the birthday candles to be brightened for everyone to see. Anyways, Willie's mom, his siblings, and their cousin, Warren, sang happy birthday to him. After that, they ate cake. Minutes later, Willie then got some presents for his birthday. He got some things he wanted, and some things he didn't expect to get. Willie thanked everybody for wishing him a happy birthday. For the rest of the night, they all had a good time. Warren wanted to sleep with the two girls, and Manevli and Veronica agreed. They were talking about having kids. Manevli said that she and Veronica are never having kids, but that doesn't mean they hates kids. Warren explained that he keeps seeing his mommy and daddy doing weird stuff on their bed. Manevli giggled, and she kissed Warren on the cheeks. At one point, Manevli went to the kitchen to call Warren's mom. Warren found out that Manevli and her siblings know Warren's guardians, and Manevli dialed their number to talk with Warren's mother, Anna, for a little bit to see how she's doing. Manevli and her siblings actually know all about Jenny, who is Warren's cousin. Speaking of Jenny, Warren overheard Manevli saying that her mom, Veritka, had a sister named Jenny, who was passed out from drowning. Warren was immediately shocked by what he just heard, because he was the one who caused Jenny to drown. Warren did not tell her and the other kids that he was the one who drowned Jenny. Not even Veritka knows exactly that Warren had drowned Jenny. Anyway, one thing Warren finds strange is that whenever Manevli talks to his mother, she would call her Sissy. Manevli is basically a sissy herself. But Warren is not sure if that is Manevli's alternative name, or if it's her nickname, or if it was originally going to be her real name for the rest of her life. To Warren, sissy is a term used to describe a moody girl who is unpredictable and sometimes partly mature. Anyways, Warren and Veronica started talking about girls' night out. Veronica, Manevli, and their mom, Vertica, were going out at night tomorrow. Warren asked Veronica if she can bring snacks while they are going out tomorrow, and Veronica said yes. When Manevli was done chatting with Anna, she came back in the girls' room to tell Warren that his mother is so nice and kind. The three all sleep peacefully while they watched cartoons and had fun. The next day, when it was around 7:30 p.m., Manevli, Veronica, and their mom, Vertica, got ready for girls' night out. Vertica sent out her husband, Jim, to look over Warren, Brandon, and Willie. Warren has never seen Jim before. Brandon ran up to his dad to hug him, after not being able to see him in a long while. Warren observed the clothes Manevli and Veronica were wearing. They were wearing black jackets, and Veronica was wearing Converse. When Manevli, Veronica, and their mom got in the car to get ready, Veronica asked her mom why doesn't she and Jim get along together. Vertica is hesitant to answer, but then she says that she and her husband wanted to spend some time apart from each other. She even said that she didn't inform her husband about what happened to her sister, Jenny, yet. As Vertica leaves the house to drive her daughters to a place that they can have fun at, Brandon and his dad watched cartoons together, while Willie had fun with his birthday presents he got the other day. Warren, on the other hand, was pissed off about not being able to go out with his other cousins during girls' night out. Warren decided to play some music on the living room speakers to make Brandon annoyed. Warren turned the speaker's volume to 100%, and as predicted, this made Brandon annoyed as fuck. Brandon went to turn it off, but then, Warren kicked him in the testicles as hard as he can, and called him a dickfuck. Brandon then pushed Warren off of him. At this point, Warren had nobody to hang out with. He hated Brandon's rough behavior. Brandon's dad was too busy watching TV, and he thought Willie was a boring person to hang out with. Warren went to Vertica and her husband's bedroom since he was bored, and that is where he finds a portrait of Willie with God. When Warren went to the living room, he heard Brandon ask his dad if he can go to the pool out in their backyard, and to his surprise, his dad said yes. Brandon got his swimming shorts on, and went outside to swim. Since it was dark outside and was nighttime, he didn't really need to put on sunscreen, because the sun was not present until morning. Brandon got in the pool to lay down on one of the inflatable rafts, so he can lay on it while it is floating in the water. While Brandon, Willie, and their dad was doing their own thing, Warren was in the girls' bedroom, sitting on their bed, thinking about the fun Manevli and Veronica were having. He wasn't sure what to do at that point, so he just went to the kitchen to eat some leftover pizza from Willie's birthday party and watch some cartoons. Sometime later, Warren was already asleep, and 1 hour later, Manevli, Veronica, and their mom Vertica arrived at the house around 10 o'clock. The two girls finds Warren sleeping on their bed, and they woke him up to tell him they brought snacks. They started talking with each other, and Warren gobbled up the snacks Manevli and Veronica had bought him. As they were talking, Warren asked Manevli who is Sissy, and why she keeps calling her mom that name. At first, Manevli is a little confused, but then she said that it was a name she liked calling his mom. For the rest of the night, they sleep with each other peacefully. The next day, Warren woke up and it was time for Warren to go back to his home. Sometime later, Warren's mom came to pick Warren up. Before his mom comes pick him up, Warren poured laxative all over Brandon's burger that he was going to eat this morning. The laxative was supposed to cause stomach pain and diarrhea. Brandon has been a selfish asshole to Warren, and Warren really wanted him to suffer big time. When Warren's mom came to pick his son up, Manevli went up to her and said hi Sissy, and gave her a hug. Warren's mom wondered why his son had girly hair. As Warren was about to leave, he saw Brandon eating his burger, and he couldn't wait for what was about to happen to him. As Warren and his mom drove home, Brandon took massive shits in the bathroom, causing him to pour out blood. The end.